I got nothing, so won't you give me something? I got nothing, something's what I need. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Punk Rock Review, home of a bunch of opinionated crap you don't care about, also the home of a bunch of opinionated crap you don't care about. Give us money. Anyhow, moving straight into it today. Today we're going to be talking about a band that we think we've talked about before. We might have, we might not have. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Free content. You're welcome. Anyhow, of course, we are talking without further ado about the one, the only, Somethin Outta Nothin. That's right, so Somethin Outta Nothin. These dudes got a new one out, and what can be said about this one? Well, The Bastard Son. What a terrific, phenomenal release, man. Any fan of traditional psychopathic kind of tunes, man, from the olden days should feel right at home listening to this one, man. The lyrics, they're simple yet forceful. Same with the vocals and the presentation, man. It has a forceful projecting that just sets the stage, the mood, the vibe, and the feel for the entire album, man. All right? It all follows the same way. It all has the same sound, the same tone, and it works extremely well. Personally, we're super over long intros to songs and interludes and most skits, and you will find some of that on here, as you will with a variety of albums from artists, old and new alike. All right? And now artistic freedom reigns supreme. They can do all of this stuff, but as listeners, we're over that stuff, okay? Some of them are funny, sure. Some of them might be something that sets up the mood, the vibe, the feeling on an album, okay. But when you have almost every single album, especially albums genre specific, man, that rely and focus on kind of padding out the track listing or anything like that, or beefing up a release, sometimes we would rather it just be the tunes, man, that just hits us, because so many artists and bands interrupt their songs with little skits and little powwows on the side and little readings and little interludes and things of that nature, where it really just kind of stops the listener who is maybe listening from a start to finish point on a album. It just interrupts that listening process, okay? Like we said, artistic freedom. Some of the interludes or skits or anything, they might set the stage and the tone for, the album, and to get all of those vibes and feelings and moods to work and synergize together. Maybe inherently they're needed there. But we'll tell you this, with all of the, one or two little skits and interlude-y kind of things and stuff that were on this album that we listened to, they did a great job keeping those in with the mood and having it resonate with the feeling and vibe of the album. But we don't need that stuff. We want the tunes. We want the rockin' stuff. On subsequent listens, we're going to skip over, those little chatty interlude skitty tracks, okay? And, while even things on this album, there's like a, almost like spoken word kind of, track on there, and it's not our favorite. It's done extremely well. The rhymes, the writing, the lyrics of it, it's extremely well. It's just not our favorite. It's not our cup of tea. It's well thought out and executed, okay? It's just not what we would look for in that. So while this album is such a solid start to finish vibe and mood that is captured, there is virtually, with the exception of an interlude or a skit, nothing on this album we would skip over on subsequent listens except for that. And now if you take that in its whole meaning, that means that any kind of skit or interlude or anything like that we would skip over on any album, whether it's from Somethin Outta Nothin, The Bastard Son, or whether it's from band X, Y, or Z of our listening discographies past, all right? Usually an album is going to end up having something or another that you'd skip over. The only things that we would skip over in this one are the things that we aren't infatuated with and or dig the most. That's going to be the little skits and the interludes, okay? Musically, there is not one song on this album that we would skip on a listen. And that is remarkably amazing, all right? That speaks really, really, now, within the parameters of, sure, our opinion on shit. That speaks really highly, man, of what a band has released and brought out to the masses to listen to and such, because inherently, virtually almost every release that we listen to from any band, okay, not everyone, such as this case, but even this case, it would be applicable if you count the interludes and the skits and stuff like that. Every single thing that we listen to generally has a track that isn't our favorite on there that we'll skip next time we listen, or the little plays and skits and stuff like that we'll skip over because we don't want to listen to it. And, the songs that are just, dog shit and we don't want to listen to, okay? Even some of our most favoritist bands have songs that we don't like to listen to that we'll skip over on albums, okay? While Somethin' Outta Nothin' is still, newer to our ears. Big much love to the Big JC for sending this one across our plate. While Somethin' Outta Nothin' is still new across our ears, and we've only, really basically scratched the surface of their discography and their sound and, everything about them, just a smidge, all right, compared to what we could listen to. The sounds, the vibes, everything drives the listener to complete it. If you are into any of the shock horror tunes or anything like that, man, this is going to be right up your alley. All right? The consistency in the tunes on this is amazing and remarkable. It's probably not going to unseat any former greats, all right? But just because it won't unseat a great act or recording artist or anything like that doesn't mean that these dudes couldn't, right out of the gate, share a stage with almost any single one of them. That's another huge, thing in itself. You could put these dudes up there with a variety of folks, and they would hold their own, and that's fantastic. So definitely worth a listen, okay? If you're not into your shock horror kind of, rap and rock and whatever, all right? This will probably be a skip over, all right? If you just like your hardcore death black metal, hi Mom, then this one's probably not going to be for you. But if you are looking for some new tunes and you like any of that shock horror kind of hoopla doopla, might be right up your alley. Or not. Who cares? I don't know. Listen to whatever you feel like. We don't care. We just want your money. So you should give us some. Feel bad? Give us money? Something like that. Anyhow, Somethin' Outta Nothin', Bastard Son. What can be said about this one? Well, it gets a good old-fashioned R. For it's really good, man. It really is. And, our little nitpicks on some skits or interludes aside, the solid, consistent, just real tunes that are there are inherently there. Definitely worth a listen. So, there you go. That's it. We're not talking about anything else. Show's over. Have a good one, you probably didn't. We'll catch you next time. Probably won't.